In today's video, we're going to make some hand-painted snowflake cards. Hi, I'm Stacy and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy and are inspired to create. For today's cards, we don't need any stamps or dies. Can you believe it? I'm just going to use normal cardstock. That's a flat brush, a flat, I believe, chisel brush. Got some water, we got a centering ruler. That is normal cardstock. It's a 110-pound heavyweight cardstock though. And that's a white pencil, and I'm going to draw out my area for my snowflake. So all you have to do is draw a line, and I think I did the line 1 3/4 inches from the center of each side. So what would that be? 3.5? 3.5, I think. And then the others are 1 1/4 from the center. So, and as you can see, I do erase because I realized I hadn't centered it up there in this. So, and I do it to the second one because I realized once I get the first one straight. So my suggestion would be to take that center ruler, see how it is now, and center it up and then mark so far out. And then that way you're like in between, like bring it back. And I think I centered it up with the 1/2 inch mark on each side and put a dot. And then that way I knew I was in the center of the cross. And you can freehand this too. If they're not perfect, that's okay. It's hand painted. That was some cheap acrylic paint that I believe I got from Joann's, their top-notch brand. It works great on here. It's very thin compared to other paints, and it just works great. So what I did was I loaded that brush up, and then I'm taking it and I'm starting towards the tip of each one of those intersections, and then I will take it and push it down all the way, and then as I pull it up, I let it travel, and then you end up with little petals. And I'm going to do that all the way around, and as I go, if it's not, as you're painting, if it's not perfect, you can go over it again. It's paint. So whatever's there will get covered up and you can straighten it out. And just remember, it is okay for not every petal or leaf or segment to be perfect. I mean, it's a hand-painted card. We don't want it to look like a stamp or a sticker or pattern paper. We want it to be handmade, right? And this would work great also if you wanted to put this on an ornament, which I will probably do at some point when I start doing my ornaments. So I'm going to be posting this video, and I'm going to try to get some more projects done with Christmas projects so it could be Christmas in July. And then I'm going ahead and getting some white paint. I thought I had the entire palette there, and that's like a disposable palette, so it's basically wax paper essentially, and it's sheets of it. You can buy it at an art store, probably arts and crafts store as well. I wouldn't. I would use a paper plate. You could even use a glass plate. If you've got a small saucer at home, you could use it and wash it. And the paint, acrylic paint, even after it dries, if you put it under water, it'll wash off if you soak it. And then on the longer stems of the snowflake, I went ahead and double dipped that. So I loaded my brush with the purple, and then I dipped one of the corners into the white paint that I have there. And I'm sorry that I don't have it on screen. I really thought I had that palette, or you know, the amount of paint in there, but I do make another one on camera where I made sure to include that in the video. And I'm just working my way down. If I have a little bit of purple paint on the edge of my brush, it's okay. I like it. It adds shading and texture. And what I had done was got this idea from, is it Debby Dewberry? My goodness. The last time I painted with acrylic paints like this was the one stroke method where you double load it. It was her, and I didn't know that. And I found her videos on here because my husband went and bought me some acrylic paint because I wanted to get back into painting, right? And I looked some things up so I could refamiliarize myself with it because it's been 25 years. So, and I remember this woman on QVC that sold everything, and that's what I bought back in the day, but they sold it at like Walmart. It was a book, and it was all the flowers. And I remember her talking about how she was broke and barely surviving and didn't have a lot of money, and that the reason she taught herself how to paint was because she wanted to have nice things and make her home look nice, and so she taught herself how to do this technique, and then she took it to the masses, and she's still doing it today. She's still putting out videos and lessons. So look her up on YouTube. I'll link the video below where I got this from. And I started here because I practiced some strokes that I remembered prior to looking up any YouTube videos, because YouTube didn't exist when I painted back in the day. And I mean, everybody, if you do this, everybody in your family, all your friends are going to want you to paint stuff. Because I remember when I started doing it, everybody wanted me to do it, and they still have the pieces I painted, which is very sweet, but I was just like, okay. But yeah, do this. Try it, because when I saw this one, I knew I could do it. I knew if it wasn't perfect, it was still going to be beautiful, and I knew it would give me the confidence to keep going and try something else. So that's my hopes. So I encourage you to try it. It's pretty simple, and she goes really into detail on how to do different strokes and load your brush. And then I took the end of my brush as well as that gem placer that had a flat end on it. If you have a stylus, you could do it. You could do it with the back of your paintbrush. You could do it with a toothpick, and I did different dots. And then this is a stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. It was part of their Stamped Timber collaboration with Gina K from years ago, and I love the sentiments in it. It's called Festive Flower, and the sentiments they're just great. I love them. They're large. I love the font. And Gina K, she always has beautiful sentiments. So since this one probably is not around unless you find it used somewhere, go to Gina K's website, and I can almost guarantee she'll have something very similar because it's a collab with her. So this one I did on black, and there I made sure to include the paint. Now that is Liquitex. That's Liquitex paint. And it's a lot thicker. It's a lot more pigmented. And so it actually was more difficult to paint with because it like clumped up and stayed on the brush, and it's just because I'm not familiar with it, and it's because it's been 20 some odd years. So, and look at the results. So you can do this. That's an angle brush, so I would just load my brush, and then I would take it and put it right up on the edge, and then I would press down, let it press down, and then lift, and then that angle would come up and create the tip of each one of those strokes. And they're very much like leaves, petals. The way she loads her brushes and the strokes she uses, they're all very similar. She uses for leaves, flowers, any this hummingbird that I saw on her channel. I was like, wow, it was all with the same type of strokes. So go look at her channel and just practice those strokes. And if you have access to her lessons, I know the book that I got many years ago, it was a book with all of it that explained it, because YouTube didn't exist then. I mean, it was a kind of rare back then for people to even have home computers. The book had like transparency sheets in it, and you would practice your stroke over the image of the different painted images. So if you were doing a petal or a leaf, she would walk you through each one. You'd paint over it, and then you would just clean your transparency. And it was very helpful. She's got some sort of lesson that she's doing now that you can buy with a discount only till the end of this month. So if you're interested in learning, go on over and check her stuff out. And the kit comes with everything that you need. And she has big colorful index cards that you paint over and then just wipe it off of instead of having transparencies. So what I did was I took that kind of tealish color, and I did the tips. I double loaded my brush. So it would have some variation in shading, and I'm doing it there with that darker blue too. And you can do it however you want. If you want to do just, this would be really pretty with just white, and you make a snowflake with just white. And you could use any colors. Just make sure you have some heavier cardstock, because you'll see, I think in some of the pictures at the end, the cardstock does warp a tiny bit, but it's negligible. And some of that was probably more so from me taking a heat embossing on them. So you could treat your cardstock if you wanted to with Mod Podge and paint over it. I don't know how that would work. Try it. You know, I'm giving you tips and I really don't know. But, I mean, experiment. That's just, I mean, that's the best way that's how I learn. I'll watch some YouTube videos when I'm interested in something and kind of get some tips, and then I go try it. And the more I do it, maybe I don't do it exactly like it was in the video, but it gives me a starting point, and then as I go, then I hone in on my own, what works for me. So do what works for you. Are you guys going to be participating in Christmas in July? I swear, at Christmas time, it seems like I don't ever have time to create. Or I'm not really in the mood. Maybe I'm all excited to decorate. You know, maybe I'm excited and I start making a couple of cards and then I'm burnt out. Like, I kid you not, like, I want to take the decorations down, like, Christmas Day or the day after, just because they've been up for so long and, you know. But they're a lot of fun to put up, but I really enjoy it until I don't. Some people keep them up year-round, which is really cool too. I just don't have the space. And then see how I'm adding dots, and some of them aren't even. So like some of the arms of the snowflakes are a little bit longer because maybe my strokes are a little bit bigger, or I came down a little further. It's okay. It all works out. And those little dots, I thought the more I added, the more it came together. In this one, I added a lot. Right? I was like adding, and I actually had my husband come over. I'm like, hey, you know, and I'll tell you the point, because it had so many dots on it. I said, should I add more right here? And he's looking, he's like, yeah, I think so. He's like, it kind of just brings it all together. I go, it does. It really does. But I wasn't sure if I was going to overdo it. So you guys tell me if you think I overdid it. And would you like to see me do these snowflakes on an ornament? Because I think I will. But because I'm already painting them on here, I don't know if anybody would be interested in seeing it painted on an ornament, because you can paint it on an ornament that's clear or colored or whatever. You can use existing ornaments maybe you have on your tree that are plain. But I have a lot of clear ornaments, so I might play around with like some gesso and some other things. I will be doing some sort of ornaments. Now, I don't know if it'll have these snowflakes on it, but I'm sure I will do some, but I'm not sure if I'll share it unless you really want me to. So here I am using the back of that jewel placer and just using it and dipping into the paint and then dotting it. Make sure your paint is nice and wet when you do this. As soon as it starts to get a skin or dry out a little bit, it's not going to dot the same. You'll get irregular dots. Maybe you'll get a clump of paint that'll come along with it. But even if you do, I think in the last card you saw that I had paint on my hand and got it on the card. I wiped it up knowing that it would wipe up because acrylic paint is water soluble. You can break it down. Now if you spray it with water on cardstock once it's dried, it's not going to move unless you really scrub at it, right? But it was enough to where I was able to kind of wipe it up. And there's like a little bit of a haze there, but I mean, whoever gets the card, if they're going to complain about that, then that's on them. You know, when I get cards, I don't look for imperfections. All I see is somebody that put their time and effort into creating something handmade for me. So don't get hung up on having everything just perfect. I think part of the whimsy and stuff that's handmade is the imperfections. So you can add as many dots or as little. You can put larger dots. And as you can see, it wasn't quite centered. Like in the last one, I couldn't carry as many dots over on the one side as the other. It didn't bother me. I don't think anybody's going to notice, and you may not have noticed until I told you. I think on this one, no, I was okay on this one. I had enough room, and then I kind of figured it out by the third card to keep some space, but I don't show the third one on camera. I can't believe I'm painting Christmas cards or making Christmas cards. It's not, it's, you know, triple digits where I'm at. We don't, you know, we're not even to 4th of July yet. We're not to fall. We're not to Thanksgiving or Christmas, you know. But that's okay. Like I said, I wanted to get a jump start and participate. So let me know if you guys are going to be participating in Christmas in July. And then I'm bringing in that darker blue, which it's there. When you look at it in person, you can see those dark blue dots. But this iridescence paint, I got it at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago on clearance, and I've only used it once or twice, and it shows up on black cardstock. That's really cool. And I'm like, oh, and it's blue. It's a blue iridescence. And I wish I had remembered I had this before, because I probably would have painted some of those petals or the inside of the snowflake, not just the dots with it. And I would have replaced those dark blue dots with this iridescent paint. But I could have went over them with it, but I just added it. And when it dries, it doesn't look like much when it's wet, but when it dries, it's blue and it's iridescent and shimmery, and it's really pretty. It almost looks like little gems. It just adds that pretty reflection to the card, like a little glimmer that gets, you know, you don't totally see it until it gets into the light or the light hits it, and it's like, ooh. And it has more dimension when dotting it like that too. So it almost looks like 3D. And I think it would be cool for anybody out there that, you know, how they do the dotting for like rocks. A lot of people do the dotting technique, or they do it for lots of other things too. I think it'd be cool to do a snowflake that's just all with dotting. So you could use the back of your paintbrush or your stylus, or if you have a dotting tool, and paint and do it. You could probably even do it with ink. Stick the back of your paintbrush in ink and dot with it. I bet you get some cool effects. So look at your stash, see what you have, and I bet you can apply it. Here's the first one I did, which it's probably my favorite. I think that the leaves came out the best. I think it's because that paint was a little bit thinner. And I do like this blue one. I like them all. And I especially like the last one, the one that I'm going to show you. But yeah, look at the shimmer on that. That's so cool. And this one, I think this is like more classic and elegant. And I love gold with purple, so that's why I went with the gold and the white with the purple. I don't know. There's something about it. It's more, I don't know, royal, fancy. I don't know. Thanks for spending some time with me, guys. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.